It is Insingo time on the Apostle P channel. Stay tuned. We'll talk about this rather interesting, some say odd, some say really good, blade shape on the Chris Reeve Sebenza. Stay with me, guys. Hi gang, Rob here. It's the evening of 7 December 2013. Nothing to talk about here, is there? Just a customer knife in for sharpening. It's just a garden variety. Chris Reeve, Sebenza, large 21. Plain old blasted handles and S35 VN blade. Oh, golly. Nothing special. Or is it? What do we have here? A banana? A utility knife? A sheep's cliff worn foot blade? Well, yeah. That's sort of all of those things, isn't it? This Sebenza is, of course, known as the Insingo. A blade shape that's been available, for what, about 3 years, I guess? I had never even seen one on video until about a year ago on Carter's channel, now Blade Brotherhood. One of his first Sebenzas was a large Insingo, and I thought, my goodness, if you were going to buy a Sebenza, why would you buy that goofy looking thing? You know, you take the classic clip point and the beautiful classically shaped titanium handle and you slap this weird looking droopy nosed cleaver sort of edge profile blade in it, and you just mess up all the lines of the knife, don't you? And then I started seeing them more, and after I bought my 21 about 3 or 4 months ago, Aiden's daddy, Patrick, I think, flipped me a comment saying, your next one needs to be a small Insingo. And I went, what? But kind of respecting his opinion, I thought about it and studied it and started to develop a bit of a different opinion. I mean, look at the attitude of that knife in your hand, where the cutting edge is just sort of right where it needs to be as you present the knife to the work. You don't have to rock on that belly. There are some applications for this blade shape, I think. It's kind of got a sway back profile too. It doesn't have the sort of upward hump of the clip point. Very cool. Once you get past it being sort of unconventional, maybe some might say ugly. And then there's another attribute this blade profile has that I find especially interesting. This knife is a customer knife, belongs to a local guy here in the Fort Wayne area named Chris. And I was very anxious to sharpen one of these. I was glad that he called and had one, because as I looked at it on video, I thought, that blade thickness behind the edge seems to be much more consistent root to tip than the clip point Sebenza. I'd like to get one in hand, and I did get one in hand, as you can see, and let's take a good look. This edge is profiled at 15 degrees per side on the secondary bevel, with a really, really tiny 19-degree micro. And look at the breadth of that secondary bevel. Now, it does thicken so slightly at the tip just for strength, but nothing like the clip point version does. You know, we think of the clip point Sebenza as having a pretty fine point, but this one might actually be finer. But with all this vertical strength, because of its sheep's cliff worn foot design, And then just when you thought it was this mundane utility knife, and I never picked this up on video, and I've never really heard anybody mention it in a video, so I'm going to tell you. If you look at this swedge on this curve approaching the tip, I thought it was kind of decorative, but it's not. It's almost sharp. This knife would be no slouch as a piercer, which is kind of interesting. Now I know there's variability in Sebenza blades, and I can't tell you if this would be true across the board with Insingos versus clip points, but this knife is much thinner behind the edge than my clip point. Not only out here at the tip, but even in the belly and the base. Very interesting. What a dedicated, purpose-built, wicked slicer it is. Oops, bumped the camera. Let's just see how this one came off the bench. And guys, just so you know, S35 and S30, in my experience, don't take the keenest edge. I usually have to work those steels a little bit to get them, you know, super sharp. But this is just sort of first time off the strop, and that thinness, wow, almost doesn't move the paper. Can you hear that? A much better slicer than my clip point 21. Very, very impressive. I think I mentioned in my Umnundi video that I didn't buy a small 21 Insingo because I couldn't find one, and to order one from CRK is about a 4 to 5 month wait. I'll be on the phone Monday. Very, very nice. Just take a look at that thing. Guys, if you can't get past the looks, I understand. But that just leaves more Insingos for the rest of us. Very cool. And Chris, if you're watching, I think you're going to be pretty happy with yours. Have it back to you in a couple days. That's all for tonight, guys. Grace to you and peace from God our Father and Lord Jesus Christ. And remember, the word is sharp.